Guys, I was wrong. I was really, really wrong, and I couldn't be happier. Hey guys, welcome to the follow-up series for Very Right or Very Wrong, in which we talk about the product that I talked about in that video and just say, was I right? And if not, what was I wrong about? Pretty straightforward. In this case, we're talking about Marvel's Spider-Man, because that's the first one from the Very Right or Very Wrong series that's actually come out, so I can actually talk about it. And I've played it fairly obsessively the past couple weeks, so I feel like I'm in a good position to talk about it. Just to quickly sum up, everything I thought might go wrong or my concerns were all completely wrong, and I'm so happy for that. For the sake of keeping this in a simple format though, what we're gonna do though is we're gonna go with things I got right first, and then we're gonna go with things I got wrong, and in that order, just keep things simple. This is probably, I'm gonna try and make this as short as humanly possible. I don't wanna do another 24-minute video, and you guys probably don't wanna sit through that long, so we're gonna do this, we're just gonna bullet points, boom, 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 get through this quickly. So let's start with the very right part. Things I got right. The swinging is great. Swinging is perfect. It's like, honestly, this is like the best web swinging in any Spider-Man game ever. I know people usually hold Spider-Man 2 up to that pedestal, but honestly, I think this is better. And I played Spider-Man 2 pretty obsessively too. I can safely say this is like the best web swing we've ever gotten in a Spider-Man game. 2, combat. Combat is awesome. The combat, it definitely feels on the offset like it might be trying to do like an Arkham Knight thing, but it really stands so much on its own, and it's so well designed, it's so perfectly executed. There's so many different variations. It's the first combat system I think I've played in any Spider-Man game where you really do feel like Spider-Man. And it can be simple if you want to, be as complex as you want to. The weapon wheel integrates seamlessly in there. It is so well designed. I have no issue with the combat. The combat is great. Okay, third pro, as I figured, all the designs look great. All the villains and all the characters that show up in this game look fantastic. It's so good, you guys. Other point I made in the positive section of that video was the change of the lore. I thought that was going to be interesting. I thought that was going to make it stand out from the other Spider-Man games or Spider-Man universe out there, and I was right on that too. The changes they do make here are very familiar, but they're just different enough to help it stand out on its own. At least until you get to the end, where there is a twist with the fate of one of the characters. I'm not going to give away here if you haven't finished it or haven't played it yet, but it is a very bold decision, and it does definitely help the Spider-Man universe stand out from every other Spider-Man universe we've seen so far, and that makes me actually a couple of twists. Again, without giving anything away, just stay for the end credits. But both of those definitely paved the way for some very interesting changes down the road, and the same like, okay, now we've established our world, now we're gonna try something different. I like that about this, I like that about this game. I think it's a very smart thing to do, and yeah, Insomniac definitely wanted this to stand out, and they succeeded, so that's all great. Okay, and here's my predictions of things I thought was gonna go wrong with the game, and it turns out I was dead wrong about, but I'm gonna go over them anyway. So things I thought were gonna go wrong with this game are as followed. 1, I was worried about the story. The story, I thought, because Insomniac has really good gameplay in their games usually, but story's not usually the strong suit, so I was a little worried about that going into the game. Luckily, again, I'm dead wrong. Again, without going into any details about the story here is honestly one of the best in Spider-Man games, period. I loved it. I was emotional. Like, the animation was gorgeous. The cutscenes were wonderful. The designs were great. Everything hit the beat it needed to hit, and it works. It works really, really well. All that stuff is great. Story is amazing. It's spectacular. It's sensational. But anyway, other thing I was wrong about, Peter Parker. I went on quite a long tangent about how I thought that the voice of Peter Parker, I didn't think it was bad. I just had concerns about it. I was worried that they might probably play him too young or too silly or too goofy, but no. The actor, who sadly his name I don't know, does a fantastic job with this. He really does feel like Spider-Man in this world, and he does a fantastic job. All the voice actors do. All the voice acting in this game is fantastic from beginning to end. Everything hits exactly the notes they need to hit. Now, there are some times where some of the quips that Spider-Man can get on your nerves, but that's also kind of Spider-Man, so you just kind of take that as it is. But overall, the voice acting was phenomenal. Everything in the story just played out beautifully. It was great. Okay, other thing I was wrong about. I was concerned that the stealth mechanics in the game, because I know that in the advertising they promoted a lot of stuff with like the stealth elements that you do with Mary Jane Watson. I was worried that was going to pay off because they didn't really show much of it up to the game's release. I'm not going to say I was entirely wrong on this, because it is still kind of a shoehorned in stealth segment that doesn't really need to be there. That being said, it is very tightly paced. It's tightly designed. A lot of people complain that it doesn't offer enough freedom, but I kind of like that it gave you a very straight linear path. I think that works in stealth more than people give it credit for. And here it works pretty well. It's gonna be no one's favorite part of the game, but for what it is, it does its job pretty well. I didn't love it, but I liked it. Sorry, my mother's dog that I'm house sitting for right now just insisted on being in the shot, so Maxwell here is gonna help save me on this one. You can't really see his eyes. His eyes are invisible with his fur. And anyway, so the big thing I was wrong on though is I made a big point in saying that I was concerned about the villains, not just in terms of the boss battles, but in terms of the villains they decided to go with. But on both counts, I was very wrong. Well, yes and no. Yes, wrong in that those weren't the only villains in the game. There are quite a few other ones in there. Not quite a few, but there's a few other ones that are more on the obscure side, like spoiler, Tombstone is in this. There's a character named Screwball in this that I had to look up. There's characters in here like I didn't know about that they picked from, so I like that they did stuff like that. And the boss battles I'm concerned was kind of be a lot of like, okay, we've done this kind of thing before. Like we fought Electro, we fought the Vulture, we fought the Rhino, especially Rhino. That was big in my harped on. And yeah, they still have familiar tropes to them when they finally pop up. They do take a long time to actually pop up. And the boss battles games are really good, by the way. They do something different with them. Like, again, I don't really want to give away, but they do something unique with how the boss battles are done. That do add an interesting twist. They're familiar mechanics, but they do something different with them, and I appreciate that. And the mechanics are implemented very, very well, and they make for very memorable boss battles. And that's really all I can say about that without giving anything away. And it does lead to a hell of a climax that does promise a lot of fun things for the future of these games. And you know they're gonna make more of these games because this game is a huge, gigantic fucking hit. If I had anything that I didn't really care about this game or didn't really like about it, I would say that there is definitely a lot of grind with the game with a lot of different side quests and stuff like that. Now, the way they do side quests are better than most games, and that the gameplay is fun that you don't mind grinding a bit. And the collectibles you find do actually, most of them anyway, do have a tie-in with Peter Parker as a person, and that makes that element interesting. Like the backpacks were kind of an unexpectedly enjoyable collectible that I really enjoyed collecting. Some negatives though, this game has a weird obsession with pigeons. And I just want to point that out. It doesn't have anything to do with anything other point I've made in this video, but who in the writing staff was obsessed about pigeons? I need to know this, but I don't know this. Why did you love pigeons so much? But my point is, this is a fantastic game. I was dead wrong. All my concerns were unfounded. And it is easily one of the best games of the year, and quite possibly one of the best Spider-Man games of all time. If you haven't already, go get it. It's worth your time. That's all I gotta say about that. And hopefully I'll get some more content you guys pretty soon. I'm working on some other stuff right now, so I'll see you all later. Bye-bye. Oh, and also don't forget to like, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything else you guys, trailer or otherwise, you guys want me to look at. I will make time for it, because right now I am kind of trying to find other stuff to like kind of make in. I might do an episode of Very Right, Very Wrong for Captain Marvel. I haven't decided yet. I don't really know if there's enough in that trailer for me to really give a thorough analysis of. So I'm kind of debating waiting for a more full trailer. But if you guys want me to take a look at it, let me know in the comments. I'll check it out. Otherwise, once again, see you guys later. Bye.